Alright, so I haven't actually talked about my time in San Diego going to TwitchCon much on this channel, or really anywhere else. And we had a great time, but there's one thing, there's a lesson that I learned that I really should have already known, but in my state, I made a very dire mistake. You see, hanging out with Sam and the rest of the guys, there was pretty much 24/7 joint rotation. And I'm not somebody who smokes much in my everyday life, so I was not prepared for the onslaught of marijuana. So this was a problem. And one night we went out to a really fancy sushi restaurant with a whole bunch of YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And I was way too out of sorts to really communicate with any of them. I sat quietly at my side of the table and I ate my sushi and I ordered sake, and it came in this neat little bottle. This gorgeous little bottle. And because I wasn't like fully on, you know, my A game, I wasn't like throwing field goals or whatever, you know, I wasn't getting 3-pointers or anything. Right, so they give you this little cup, and I overfilled it. Really just spilled right all over the edges. Now, if that was where this little story ended, that'd be fine, you could recover from that, nobody even saw it. But what happened next is where things really go downhill. So, the only napkin in sight is like 2 people away, so for some reason, I thought that if I moved really fast, nobody would notice me grabbing it, and I would avoid embarrassment. Instead, my arm flew past Sam, knocked over the sake bottle, which then landed in Sam's lap, just completely dousing his crotch in flaming hot sake. The bottle then flew down to the ground and smashed. But it smashed in such a way that a lot of the sake remained in the bottle. And it smashed in a way that there was like a spout still left. There was like a triangle wedge of ceramic still open. And I was so isolated on this, like, far end of the table. I don't know what the fuck it is with San Diego, but everywhere you go and, like, downtown, it seems like the music's just way too goddamn loud. I don't know what they were trying to do, like, make it so you, like, can't talk to each other, or, like, if you can't hear each other, maybe you'll order more sushi. I don't know what the fuck that was about. But anyway, I was isolated. And I was just sitting there looking at this broken sake bottle, still with a decent amount of sake, like multiple glasses worth of sake in there. And I had the bright, very not sober idea to pour the rest of that sake into that little cup and drink it. Twice. And that was actually the last day that we were in San Diego. So on the flight home, I started feeling like something bad was going down in my guts. I knew that the moment I got to a toilet, I was gonna explode. So we land in Charlotte, because Sam and I were on the same plane at this point.
An economic standpoint.
Yeah, that's great. Where are you going?
Yeah. It is volatile, or needs like a payment.
Have fun with that. We landed in Charlotte, and I immediately head to the closest toilet. I actually sent Sam a text. Okay, here it is. I'm about to sprint to an airport bathroom and pop like a balloon from both ends. I'm just gonna cut in here real quick. Total aside from the story, this text message is not how I would normally word this. What I wanted to say is that I'm going to sprint to the bathroom and detonate. Or I'm going to sprint to the bathroom and explode. But in the back of my head, all I could think about was this stupid news story about this guy getting arrested for saying he was going to go drop a bomb in the bathroom. I was not 100%, you know, I had not recovered yet. We had done a lot of stuff that day. So I was a little nervous, and I was like, you know, just in case somebody's over my shoulder or over Sam's shoulder reading our text messages, just in case the airplane Wi-Fi is stealing our text messages, which is completely irrational, but just in case, I just wanted to make sure that I did not say I'm going to go into the bathroom and fucking explode. Because that could be misinterpreted. back to the story. Because this was a 4-hour flight, and I managed to hold it in pretty much for the full 3 hours, because I don't know why it just didn't. What the fuck was that? Anyway, I managed to hold it in like the full 3 hours. We get to the airport, I run to the bathroom, and every stall is full. Except for one, which has like a janitor in there, doing janitor stuff. Luckily enough, he sees the duress I'm under. He leaves this freshly cleaned stall. He exits the stall, he looks at me, and he gestures. I'm not even sure if this guy spoke English. Like a hero, this man gestures to me. And he suggests that I use the freshly cleaned, pristine toilet. And I'm in no position to say, like, no or anything. There's no reason why I would. I mean, so I go in there. And what happens next, I can only visually describe as a murder scene. The beautiful white porcelain that was just freshly cleaned before me was covered in blood from top to bottom. It was on top of the seat, it was in the bowl. I don't know how it didn't get on my clothes. There was blood everywhere. But I was in such a rush to get to my next flight, I cleaned everything up, you know, as best as I could. Really, like, when I was done, you couldn't really tell what had happened. I left the stall. Sam exits the stall right next to me. He has no fucking idea that he was next to somebody who had just shit out like a gallon of blood because of what happened the night before. So we laugh, we go our separate ways. He goes to Florida, I go to New York. And then I finally land in my home city. And the moment I get home, the same thing happens in my own toilet. And then for a couple days, there was a very small amount of blood in my stool, and it took weeks. A whole month. It took a whole month for me to put together the pieces that I drank sake out of a broken bottle, and I probably swallowed shards. Sharp, minuscule, tiny shards of glass or ceramic, and that's why for days afterwards I was shitting blood. I could have fucking died. So anyway, folks, be careful out there. Like, when you're not sober, sometimes you do things that sober you would never do. You'd never drink from a fucking broken glass bottle. Why would you ever do that? Or ceramic. Just don't drink from broken things. Man, that sake was so warm and so comforting. And it was so warm and not comforting when it left my body. It was everything but comfort. And you know, a normal person, after they shit blood, a lot of blood for a couple days, would probably go to the hospital. But we live in America, baby. And I don't got that kind of money!